distinguished guests, faculty and staff, parents of the graduates, relatives and friends, welcome to the 40th commencement of Notre Dame Catholic School. We are all called by God to be here today. As a consideration to others, please place your cell phones or pagers in the silent mode. Father John Swistovich, pastor of Our Lady of Queen of Peace Parish, will deliver our invocation. Please rise and remain standing.
Let us bow our heads and place ourselves in God's presence. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Most gracious God, we give you thanks for the gift of life and for this day. We thank you for Notre Dame Catholic School, for its students, its staff, its benefactors. We ask you to bless all that are here today, but most especially to bless our graduating seniors that are with us and will be honored today. We ask that you send the Holy Spirit upon them in a very special way in their lives as they go out into the world, to help them to discern the gifts that each of them have been given, so that they might use those gifts wisely for the betterment of our world and to bring about your kingdom. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Harrison Hanby, President of the Student Council, will lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. It is with pleasure that I now present this year's salutatorian, William Troy Ferris.
Greetings and welcome. Dr. McBee, Bishop Van, Father John, Father Cook, Mr. Miller, teachers, faculty and staff, parents, grandparents, family, friends, the Notre Dame Band, and of course, fellow graduates. Peace be with you. My job here today as salutatorian is to welcome all of you here with a sense of goodwill and respect. I thank you all for coming out today to be with all of us. In thinking back on my experiences here at Notre Dame since the first grade, I realize that my days here are done. A Klingon saying comes to my mind. For those of you who are not fluent in Klingon, this statement translates to, "It is a good day to die." Now, before you get worried, let me explain myself. I'm not referring to my life coming to an end, but to the death of my childhood. And I look forward in the hope of an even better adulthood to come. I have enjoyed growing up in this wonderful environment, but I must move on. I've learned many things in many different academic subjects, such as Latin, math, science, music, drama, history, and many others. I have also been forming my Catholic faith over these years, but my years of learning here as a child had to eventually come to an end. While I am looking towards the college life, I can look back at my years here and think of what a wonderful class I was blessed with. Many of my classmates have been blessed with great intelligence. This presented me with a good environment for academic competition. Many of my classmates have been blessed with great athletic prowess, like the girls in my class who recently won the state title in softball. We have many actors and actresses also. Many of the drama productions here at school have had casts that mostly contain people in my class, and these shows would not have been possible without the sound and light technicians in my class who have been there to make sure everything goes well. We also have many musicians who lead music for church services not only in school, but at their own parishes. I feel privileged to be in a class filled with so many amazing people who gave me ample opportunity for academic competition that made me strive to improve myself. It's been great being with you guys. As we look towards the future, I have one word of advice. Go into everything with a modicum of alacrity. This means that no matter what task you're about to take on in life, go into it with a moderate amount of readiness, promptness, and willingness. Basically, don't decide on an issue before you understand what's going on, and don't say whether you're against something or with it until you understand it. As a parting note, one key to success comes from Philippians chapter 2, verses 14 and 15. Do everything without whining or complaining, that you may be blameless and innocent, children of God without blemish in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, among whom you shine like lights in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. We are very pleased to have as our commencement speaker the Most Reverend Bishop Kevin Van. Bishop Van.
This time of the year, as a pastor back in Springfield, was always a great time for me, as each year I was involved in our grade school graduations and high school graduations. So by being invited to come and speak here, it helps me to feel right at home and not miss a part of this most important part of the year that it was in my life. My most recent assignment prior to coming to Fort Worth was when I was assigned as pastor of Blessed Sacrament Parish in Springfield, Illinois. This was the parish where I was stationed from 1985 to 1990 as an associate pastor. This was also the parish where my parents were married and where I was baptized. Springfield was my hometown, so in 2001, after being away for 11 years, I really was looking forward to coming home and renewing acquaintances and friendships from my past years. You know how people say, well, that you can never go home again, but you know, I was willing to sort of challenge that bit of popular wisdom. Renewing acquaintances and friendships, that I did, and in one particular case, in a rather unusual fashion. I began a routine in about August of 2001 of going to a bar, or rather it's kind of a dive, on the second Friday of the month at noon, not in the evening. It was called the Sandbar, and it was owned by a high school classmate of mine because it overlooked the Sangamon River. On one side was the Sangamon River, and I assure you the Sangamon River is not the Mississippi or any other big river. It's kind of a small thing, and it was also surrounded by corn and soybeans. I assure you that when I would walk in to the bar, not dressed like this, but rather with my suit collar, people would turn around and look. One time I even went there with a Dominican sister in full habit. They really turned around and looked at the bar. But the reason I went to this bar on a regular basis the second Friday of the month was that a group of us who had been in high school together in the 60s and who were still in the Springfield area began to have lunch there regularly. There might be about 8 or 9 of us, or maybe 25 of us, depending on what was going on. we found that we really enjoyed each other's company, and that the competition, the cliques, and the groupings of our high school years didn't mean anything anymore to us. We just appreciated each other. The years, in fact, since graduation, which was in 1969, had been kinder to some of us than others. There had been the Vietnam War for some of us in our college years. There were successes and failures for some in family and business. There had been struggles with alcohol for others and other challenges. But there we all were, still plugging away. All of us, by that time, in our early 50s. We had graduated from a high school called Griffin High School, which had an enrollment at that time of about 900 boys. The Girls Academy, Sacred Heart, was right down the street with about 900 girls. And another Girls Academy was across town, Ursuline, with about 500. The year was 1969, amidst turmoil in society, world, and church. Yet at that time, nearly 35 years later, all of us still had a lot in common. Not only were our backgrounds in similar families, we had all that in common. We were in middle-class Springfield. But despite the challenges of the years, all of us were, for the most part, content and at peace. I would say that because most of us had come to grips with our relationship with God and the practice of our faith, and had really begun that again after having taken some time off. And because I noted in all of my classmates that would gather in our conversations, the conversations were never centered on themselves. It was always others, their families, their parents, friends, and people in the community. What could they do to help others out? Somehow we learned the lessons from our teachers, who were called the clerics of St. Viator, and the lay teachers, and they used to kind of drum this in us through what we would call Key Club at the time, or Sodality, or religion classes, that to truly know the love of God in our lives, in His presence, to truly to be complete, and to survive in the world, not only survive, but to do well, we had to, as the gospel says for this weekend, love one another as I have loved you. And you know, that care for others that we found was part of who we are after all those years saw us through a lot in our lives. In spite of a cultural revolution in the 1960s that sent our country on a me-centered, me-only, egocentric way of life that still surrounds us. You know, we often reflected and spoke about this at the Sandbar at noon the second Friday of the month. I guess that if I could ask our graduates, and we're certainly proud of them and their accomplishments, to keep anything in mind, it is, what have you learned here, not only from your theology classes, not only from everything else that you've had to do, but from times of community service, all that together, what have you learned about yourselves and your life and what is to come? Well, a lot of these things are requirements, community service or projects, service projects in theology and religion. In the years ahead, starting today, I would ask you to reflect on all of that and what you learned in that. That somehow there, in reaching out to others, in service projects, in your classes, in theology, in your worship, there was the presence of Christ for each of you, teaching you to love one another, even when it's not easy. And that you are personally called by the Lord to do just that. And to know that love of God means love of others. God first, others, and then ourselves. And you know, that is not the main road of life, or the wide gate, or the easy way in our culture. But rather, love of God and love of others, if it becomes part of our life, if it comes from our Catholic education, or however we learn it, is often the narrow road and difficult choice. But it is the road to true peace, happiness, and ultimately, eternal life. One of the greatest titles that any of us can have, we heard also in the gospel this weekend when Jesus says, I call you friends. Please know, our graduates, that it is our Lord today who calls each one of you a friend. You may not always have been aware of that, especially in moments of challenge, doubt, or even tough love. And neither were there a group of 25 or 30 of us as we would get together and reminisce and look back. But it came to life in us in years later, and we remembered it later on, even in places like the Sandbar, the second Friday of the month in Springfield, Illinois at noon. We're proud of you, we pray for you, and may God bless you always. Amen.
Thank you, Bishop Van. And now the presentation of our graduates. By the authority vested in me by the state of Texas, the Diocese of Fort Worth, and upon nomination of the faculty, the following students are hereby conferred diplomas of graduation. Michael Albert Tillis. He has earned 6 credit hours from Midwestern State University. He plans to continue at MSU this fall. Ashley Marie Rivard. Ashley is the daughter of Linda Stanley and Mike Rivard. She has earned 12 credit hours from Midwestern State University. She has been offered a UD Scholar Award at the University of Dallas. Ashley is accepting an appointment to the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Amanda Elizabeth Meadows. Amanda is the daughter of Stephen and Margaret Meadows. She has earned 12 credit hours from Midwestern State University. Amanda is the recipient of a YOC Optimist Club Scholarship. She plans to attend Angelo State University. Sally Taylor McElvain. Sally is the daughter of Lavina McElvain and Eddie McElvain. She plans to attend Midwestern State University. Sarah Sylvestra Ledesma. Sarah is the daughter of Nestor and Dora Ledesma. She is the recipient of a Rotary Club Essay Cash Award and the Dean's Scholarship from Our Lady of the Lake College. Sarah is accepting a Presidential Scholarship from St. Mary's University. On Now Dow. On is the daughter of Hung Dow and Train Wynn. On plans to attend Midwestern State University. Tiffany Louise Gonzalez. Tiffany is the daughter of Wynn De Hoyos and Oscar Gonzalez. She has earned 12 credit hours from Midwestern State University. She is accepting an academic merit scholarship at Texas Woman's University. Kim T. On Wynn. Kim is the daughter of Tu and Hung Wynn. She plans to attend Orange Coast College in California. Felicity Jewel McClure. Felicity is the daughter of Anna Bernard McClure and Rex Allen McClure. She is a recipient of the Fantasy of Lights Basketball Tournament Cash Award, and she has earned 12 credit hours from Midwestern State University, where she will continue this fall. Attila Batuhan Altikin. Batu is the son of Yusuf and Daria Altikin of Turkey. He is currently living with his aunt and uncle, Michelle and Seihan Sobai. He plans to attend the University of Boca Rosa in Milan, Italy. Jeremy Christopher Neal. Jeremy is the son of Kathy and Chris Neal. He has received a scholarship from the Texas Classroom Teachers Association. Jeremy is accepting an academic merit scholarship at Midwestern State University. John Walker Harmon. John is the son of Shannon and John B. Harmon. He has earned 12 credit hours from Midwestern State University. He was offered a national scholarship from the American Musical and Dramatic Academy in New York. John plans to attend the University of Texas at Austin. Mary Ellen Michelle Otto. Michelle is the daughter of Tracy and Steve Otto. She has earned 18 credit hours from Midwestern State University. She is the recipient of an All-American Scholar Award, an Optimist International Essay Cash Award, and the Americanism Speaker Cash Award from Rotary International. Michelle is accepting an Academic Merit Scholarship and the Hale Memorial Scholarship in Geosciences at Midwestern State University. Christopher John Nutini. Son of Amy and John Nutini. His host parents are Linda and Don Knox. Chris plans to continue his association with junior college, with junior hockey, and attend Vernon College. Christian Virgil Batista Frando. Christian is the son of Angie and Virgil Frando. He has earned 12 credit hours from Midwestern State University. Kristen is accepting an academic merit scholarship at Midwestern State University. James Tip Boo. James is the son of Terry and Art Boo. He has earned 6 credit hours at Midwestern State University and plans to attend the University of North Texas. Harrison Lee Handy. Harrison is the son of Adele and Steve Handy. He has earned 12 credit hours from Midwestern State University. He has received the Daughters of the American Revolution Good Citizenship Essay Award and a Notre Dame Band Parent Scholarship. He was offered a University Scholarship from Texas Tech University. Harrison is accepting a Dean's Scholarship at Texas Christian University. Shane Patrick Murphy. Shane is the son of Barbara and Mike Murphy. He has earned 12 credit hours from Midwestern State University. He has received a Notre Dame Band Parent Scholarship. Shane will accept a university scholarship to Angelo State University. William Troy Ferris. Bill is the son of Terry and Mark Ferris. He has earned 18 credit hours from Midwestern State University. He has received a Notre Dame Band Parent Scholarship. He was offered a Loyola Scholarship to Fordham University. Bill is accepting a UD Scholar Award, a UD Award, and a Classic Scholarship at the University of Dallas. Benjamin George Dekoff. Ben is the son of Beverly and George Dekoff. He has earned 6 credit hours from Midwestern State University. Ben is accepting an academic merit scholarship at Midwestern State University. Seth Francis Wilhelm. Seth is the son of Colleen and Neil Wilhelm. He has earned 12 credit hours from Midwestern State University. He is a recipient of the Fantasy of Lights Basketball Tournament Scholarship. He was offered a UD Scholar Award at the University of Dallas. Seth is accepting a Texas Aggie grant. He will attend Texas A&M University. Bishop Band, Father Cook, Father John, Superintendent Miller, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Notre Dame graduating class of 2006. The Garrett J. Ham Scholarship, funded by the Mia Ham Foundation, was established in memory of Mia Ham's brother, Garrett J. Ham. As a member of the Notre Dame family, from kindergarten through midway in the 10th grade, Mia has supported us in many ways. This 4-year scholarship honors her beloved brother and is a tribute to him and his family. Now I ask Dylan Ham, Garrett's son, to come to the stage to make the presentation. Dylan?
The Garrett J. Ham Scholarship is funded by the Mia Ham Foundation. Her foundation is focused on providing support for 2 important causes: raising funds and awareness for bone marrow transplant, patients, and continuing the growth and opportunities for young women in sports. This is a $4,000 scholarship given out at $1,000 each year. The scholarship is named in honor of my dad Garrett, which was Mia's brother. He graduated from Notre Dame in 1986, and in 1997 died during bone marrow transplant. Every year the scholarship is given to a senior girl that has the leadership, character, and integrity that the scholarship represents. This year the scholarship goes to Tiffany Gonzalez.
At this time, I take pride in presenting those graduates receiving special recognition. Each year, the faculty chooses to honor graduating seniors who have excelled in the various academic areas. One student is chosen based on enthusiasm, attitude, participation, and academic achievement. Graduates, please remove your caps as you come forward and be recognized. Superintendent Miller will present these. For her accomplishments in art, Amanda Meadows. For his accomplishments in band, Bill Ferris. For his achievement in business computer information systems, Batu Alptiken. For his accomplishments in drama, John Harmon. For excellence in English, Seth Wilhelm. For his achievements in foreign language, Bill Ferris. For excellence in history, Seth Wilhelm. For her achievements in mathematics, Ashley Rivard. The Religion Award goes to Harrison Handy. For excellence in science, Michelle Otto. I am pleased to announce the remaining special awards at this time. The Salutatory Award is given to William Troy Ferris. The Valedictory Award is given to Harrison Lee Handy and Seth Francis Wilhelm. The Scholar Athlete Award goes to the graduating senior who has been able to sustain academic excellence and excel in athletics. This year we recognize two seniors, Mary Ellen Michelle Otto and Seth Francis Wilhelm. The Notre Dame Service Award goes to the graduating senior who has been a loyal supporter to the school and has demonstrated that support through service. This year's recipient is William Troy Ferris. Important criteria governs the selection of the Grand Knight and Grand Lady. These two students have exhibited Catholic values through character and through concern and respect for others. They have demonstrated good citizenship, good judgment, and scholastic effort. This year's Grand Lady is Ashley Marie Rivard. And this year's Grand Knight is Harrison Lee Handy. Students receiving these awards this afternoon are very, very special young people. We appreciate them and their contributions to our Notre Dame family. Let's give them and all of our graduates another round of applause. It is my pleasure to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Tim Engel, who is the Liaison Officer for the United States Air Force Academy. Lieutenant Colonel.
Good afternoon. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Tim Engel. I am the Greater Wichita Falls Area ROTC and Air Force Academy Admissions Liaison Officer. Long time. It is an honor for me to represent the United States Air Force, and it's a pleasure for me to present Ashley Rivard with an appointment to the Air Force Academy. An appointment to the Air Force Academy is the equivalent of a four-year scholarship. Ashley competed with over 9,198 other high school seniors. and is one of only approximately 1,575 to receive this offer. She will be joining a select group that will be trained to be future leaders in the Air Force. During her 4 years at the Academy, Ashley will have the opportunity to participate in many leadership programs, including flying sailplanes, parachuting, and various military and foreign exchange programs. She will pursue the major of her choice in one of 32 academic disciplines, as well as study subjects dealing with Air Force history, its management, and leadership principles. While Ashley is a cadet, the Air Force will pay her complete room, board, and tuition. The total cost per graduate is estimated to be over $374,000. Additionally, cadets receive monthly base pay. When soon-to-be Cadet 4th Class Rivard graduates from the Air Force Academy, she will be commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force and immediately begin working in one of the 38 officer career fields in the world's premier aerospace force. I met Ashley 1 year ago today. In fact, it was here at the reception after last year's graduation ceremony. She was determined to attend the Academy and was ready to get her application process started. With the help of her parents and Ms. Pat Smith, the school's counselor, she was able to complete the application package. I know she's very grateful for all the help she has received. The core values of the Air Force are integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. That's not just a motto. That is the way an officer in the Air Force is expected to live their life, on and off the job, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Over these last 12 months, I've had the chance to spend some time with Ashley, and I can tell you that her values and the values of the Air Force are one and the same. Ashley, it's my privilege to award you with this appointment to the Air Force Academy. Please step forward and accept your official letter of appointment for the class of 2010.
I'm honored to introduce our valedictorians. First, Harrison Lee Henry.
Dr. McBee, Father Cook, Bishop Van, Father John, Mr. Miller, friends, family, class of 2006. It is a pleasure and a tremendous opportunity to be able to speak to you today. And for that reason, this speech is all I've been thinking about since I found out I was awarded with the valedictorian. The reason this has been on my mind is because for the last several years, Notre Dame has been my life. You see, as an underclassman in high school, I didn't have a great number of responsibilities other than academics and sports. But I always noticed the work of students such as Nick Tong and Donald Lewis. These two men were the student body presidents my first 2 years of high school, and I wholeheartedly believe they ran Notre Dame. Therefore, when I was elected student body president my junior and senior year, I took over their job. Little did I know what I was getting myself into. These past 2 years, Notre Dame has been my main passion in life. So when I found out I was going to be addressing this school on graduation day, I realized it was going to be my last chance as a student to make an impact. And from the beginning, I knew what I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to present a cliche middle school essay about what Notre Dame is to me, but I am going to tell you what Notre Dame is, period. This is a program from this year's sports banquet. It tells about Notre Dame's athletes, about their hard work, sacrifice, and determination that each person puts forth to achieve their goals. It also recognizes the coaches that guide and inspire them. Is this what Notre Dame is? No. This is a program from this year's Academic Awards Assembly. It acknowledges the scholastic achievements Notre Dame students have earned: honor roll, straight A's, and perfect attendance. And not only that, but it recognizes the extracurricular activities such as Key Club, Student Council, National Honor Society. These are the things that teach young men and women values and give them a well-rounded education. Is this what Notre Dame is about? No. This is a Notre Dame handbook. Its purpose is to summarize the policies, regulations, goals, and principles of this institution. On page 1, it tells the vision and mission of this school. Vision, spiritual and academic excellence. Mission, Notre Dame provides immeasurably superior and valued education in the Catholic tradition. On page 2, it tells the history. Notre Dame Catholic School is composed of an elementary school, a middle school, and a high school. The traditions of the institution are drawn from the Sisters of St. Mary of Namur, who in 1904 founded the original school, which was known as the Academy of Mary Immaculate. On page 3, it gives the philosophy of education and the objectives of the school. Notre Dame, a Catholic school in the Diocese of Fort Worth, strives to offer each student a moral, physical, cultural, intellectual, and social, as well as spiritual, foundation upon which to build a child of God. On page 13, this outlines the high school regulations, and on page 20, it gives the school procedures. Is this the essence of Notre Dame? Not a chance. By this point, you're probably tired of me telling you what Notre Dame is not, and wondering when I'm going to get to the point and tell you what Notre Dame is. Well, here you go. The heart of Notre Dame is them, the students, and it's some of you, the parents and the faculty. But more specifically, the heart of Notre Dame is in its leaders, past and present. Not just its declared leaders, but in its unpronounced and real leaders, like Nick Tong and Donald Lewis. The heart of Notre Dame is in those who have poured their heart into Notre Dame. Not because they read the handbook and know the traditions of Notre Dame, but because they have lived and have fought to protect those traditions and have strived to make Notre Dame excellent, not for their own recognition or for a paycheck or for a diploma, but for their love of the school and what it stands for, Jesus Christ. Someone once told me they believe the Holy Spirit holds this school together, and I believe that. But I also believe he gets a lot of help from those who inject life and vigor in this school. They say we are the hands and feet of Christ, and I believe those who endeavor to make this school the best it can be are doing his work. A lot of people say Notre Dame is going downhill. At its largest, there were 50 to 60 students in every class. Now there are a few more than that in the entire high school. I've heard many predictions about how many more years Notre Dame High School will be around, and most of them have been in the single digits. They say Notre Dame cannot compare to what it used to be or to what other schools are. I say that's baloney. My one and best example of this happened this past weekend at the state softball tournament in Belton. Our own Lady Knight softball team played Hallettsville Sacred Heart for the state title, but it was not them that impressed me. It was the fans. The Notre Dame fans filled the bleachers at Mary Hardin Baylor's softball complex. We must have made up at least 75 or 80% of the people there, and Hallettsville is closer to Belton than Wichita Falls. Not only were our fans there, but they were crazy. And in addition to that, our team brought home the state title. I believe that as long as God wills it, and as long as there are people who are willing to put forth real effort and sacrifice into preserving the vivacity, excellence, and traditions of this school, my alma mater will return to its former numbers. That is because I can stand here before you and proclaim without a shadow of doubt that if it were not for Notre Dame, I would not be the person I am. So, if you ask me, I'd say the heart of Notre Dame is still beating. Thank you.
Seth Francis Wilhelm.
Bishop Van, Father Cook, Father John, Mr. Miller, and Dr. McBee, faculty, family, and friends. Notre Dame has been my life for 13 years now. I, along with 11 others, have been going to Notre Dame since kindergarten. One thing we aren't shy of is memories. The first memory I have is walking into Miss Payne's kindergarten class when I was only 5. I begged and cried my dad not to leave me. I was scared of being introduced into a strange new world all by myself, but I instantly began to make new friends. After that first day of kindergarten, I was always eager to go to school to be with my friends that I have now grown to love. During kindergarten, the 12 of us made various friends. If we weren't good friends, we had played on the playground with each other. All through elementary school, friends came and went. We made new friends and grew closer to our old friends. We learned trust and courage through playing sports with our friends during recess and PE, while our knowledge and wisdom grew during school. What we didn't learn from our first teachers about life, we learned from each other. Through middle school, our friendships continued to expand. Some classmates left to go to public schools, but we quickly learned that there were still good friends left at Notre Dame. I, along with others, began to make our best friends. The friends who we could share anything with and trust them not to tell. Our friendships matured from just playing on the playground to going over to each other's houses. In middle school, we had our first major disappointments. Our friends did something that would really upset us, but we overcame these fights and became closer still. Then high school came. Some of the classmates who left in middle school in search of better things came back because they knew Notre Dame had their true friends. We also learned that some people say they were our friends, but they truly don't care. Luckily, we learned that everyone in our class was so close and that they were our true friends. The reason for our class's closeness was the relatively small size compared to that of the public schools. Some people criticize small class sizes like our own, but the reason we grew so close is because of that small size of our class. There were so few of us, the only thing we could do was get along and grow close. We learned that if someone upset us, our friends would always be there for that shoulder to cry on if we needed to cry. Not only our classmates became our friends, but we found that the teachers were also always there for us. When we first entered high school, we heard of those frightening stories about Coach Malka. But as the years have gone on, Coach Malka has become like a friend to most of us. We've traveled to Florida with her, along with trips to Galveston and Houston. Whenever something went wrong, we'd go to Coach Malka and tell her our problems. And because of the care she had for us, along with the other teachers, she hated to see our class quarrel and tried her hardest to settle any disputes. Since our class was so close, it was natural for us to have fights over some of the stupidest things. What color for our senior shirts? Where are we going to eat on Wednesdays? But even though we had those dumb fights, we had several struggles that tested our very friendships. Luckily, we were able to overcome any hardship as a class and continue to grow closer, and our friendships have grown into love. Fellow classmates, remember the song, Lean on Me, fits our class perfectly. Our friends know we are there for comfort when they are not strong. We will be their friends through the hardships in life because we know that they will be there for us if we get into trouble. Remember this song, and you will always be able to remember your friendships made here at Notre Dame. We are all best friends, and remember, best friends always listen to what you say. This class has grown extremely close to each other, and I know we will continue to grow. Even as new students have come, we have been able to include them and quickly grow close to them. Every one of us is thankful that our parents chose to send us to this school. People have told me that college is where you make your friends for the rest of your life. Well, if that's so, then my friends at Notre Dame must be my family. Thank you.
want to recognize for their contributions to the achievements of all these young people. First of all, I'd like the faculty to stand and turn around so everybody can see you, plus former faculty. If you've taught here or if you're at the elementary school, please stand and let's give them a round of applause. I don't think we could go without recognizing the parents and guardians of our young people. They've done a great job. We appreciate everything they've done for the school and for our students. I'd like for all the parents and guardians to please stand. At this time, I'd like to introduce Don Miller, Superintendent of Schools for the Diocese of Fort Worth, for our closing remark. Mr. Miller.
In my other life, before I became a superintendent of schools, I spent 27 years as a principal of Catholic high schools. So I've gone through quite a few of these graduations, and I'm pretty sure I know what you guys are thinking. And I know it's not that you want to listen to me, but I've got a couple quick thoughts that I want to leave you and the crowd with. First of all, as you go out of Notre Dame today, we're of course proud of what you've done to the school. I would like you to do a little favor for me and a favor for yourself. Sometime within the next few days, without anybody checking you out, I'd like you to say thank you on a personal level to three groups. First of all, Father Cook, Father Swistovich, the pastors of the parishes that have supported Notre Dame and kept it going through all its trials and tribulations, the highs and lows. They've been there to support the school. Secondly, your teachers. Not just Coach Maka, not just Mr. McBee, all the people that have been there to give you the advice, the wisdom, and the generosity. And most importantly, to your moms and dads, and the people who have cared for you, that have made the sacrifices, that have made Notre Dame available and precious to you as it is to us. Those people, in all of their own special way, have allowed you to realize that you have a very special gift, the gift of a Catholic education through Notre Dame School. You received from God two most precious gifts, the gift of life and the gift of God's love. But those gifts are not free. With them comes a very special responsibility. Many, many, many years ago, about the time I was your age, my pastor told me this. I think he was just trying to keep me quiet, but the words have stuck with me. What you are is God's gift to you. What you become is your gift back to God. I challenge you as you walk out of here today, make sure that you give God back the gift that he deserves. And lastly, as you move forward, recognize that when you walk out of this hall today, things will never quite be the same. You've completed one phase of your life and you're moving on to another exciting journey. Changes will be all over the place. You'll meet new people and new things, and you'll probably be a little frightened and a little concerned. I ask you to fall back on three basic lessons that I'm sure Notre Dame has taught you. Number one, and most importantly, trust in your God. God will always be there and never give you more than you can handle. Believe in God, believe in yourself. And that's the second thing. Do believe in yourselves. Once you leave Notre Dame won't leave you. And lastly, live your life to live up to that responsibility I talked about. And make sure that you always strive to make those most close to you most proud. And in order, that should be your God, your family, your parish, and Notre Dame. God bless you all, and Godspeed.
To end this celebration, I would like to ask Father Ivor Cook, pastor of Sacred Heart Parish, to give the benediction. And then we would like you to join us in singing the Alma Mater. Please rise.
Oh God, as we send these young people forth into your world, be with them, grant them your presence, that they may succeed and bring their desires and ambitions closer to you. We thank you for their parents, for the perseverance that they have put up with during these years. We thank you for the school that had provided them the opportunity to become closer to Christ. And may Almighty God bless you all, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.